All right. Great. Well, as I said, I'm going to get started by just bringing us in with a few tuning forks. And so just inviting everybody to come into the space together. You can close your eyes or keep your eyes open, but just start to tune inwards and just sense and feel what you notice inside. And take some deep breaths in your belly. Right. And these are going to be a little high pitched. These are angel forks. So just bring in angel friends with us tonight. Hologram of all of you that's in front of me into like you're in front of me, and I'm going to just open up the heart space for everybody. So I'm just pulling the heart space open. And these are weighted forks, so you won't hear. Just see what you notice. Take a nice deep breath. And we'll do some back heart opening. Back heart's where we receive love, receive loving energy. And it can be surprisingly closed. So just feel this vibration at your back heart. Nice. And opening up the back of your skull, the medulla, where we receive information. From source. Eileen calls it the mail slot. I think Yogananda called it the mouth of God. This is where divine information comes in. And then lastly, I'll open up your third eye. Nice deep breath. All right. Now that everybody's heart chakras and intuition chakras are open, I'm just going to begin by talking a little bit about what awakened heart mind is to me. And then I'm going to lead you in a guidance into heart mind space. And I'm going to just start by relaying kind of a funny thing that happened this week. I was listening to a podcast, a chat on non-duality by some esteemed people over in Europe. They're all experts on non-duality, supposedly, and it really struck me how intellectual the conversation was. They were discussing being in an awakened state, and each of them were talking about how they had touched it, but it was very occasional for them. It was like this elusive thing that maybe you will get to someday if you meditate enough. And it was very clear as they were having this intellectual conversation that from my perspective that there was something really actually quite present even right now, that most of them in this conversation felt like they were missing. And I think it's a lot, as intellectual beings, especially those of us in kind of it's steeped in the university setting, it can be really easy to get stuck in that kind of conceptual of what awakened heart mind or what awakened consciousness is. And I really love how, what I've learned both from Stephen and also in teacher Locke Kelly and others about this just much more simple access that we actually have into heart mind, that it's much more, in a sense, ordinary than we think it is, that it's this actual awakened state that's here right now, that we have access to right now, and we don't have to think about it as this thing that maybe we'll get to someday if we meditate for 15 years, and then we'll be lucky and we'll be enlightened. And that's my, I don't know, I definitely would never say I'm enlightened, but I would say is just my felt experience of living is radically different than it was 3 years ago. That my felt experience of living has shifted out of this thinking mind that always was trying to analyze and race ahead to what's next, or feel pressure of so much to do, gotta be, into much more of being able to be just awake and aware and just living joyfully. I think that's what most of us want. We just want to live joyfully. So I share this in the spirit of helping, to whatever degree this wisdom and the meditation can help you sense and feel into that place of just living joyfully moment to moment. That's my goal. And it really is, for me, my experience is it's this direct knowing. And the access portal here that we're going to work with is it's direct knowing from the heart. That we're stepping out of this conceptual mind that kind of sits up here behind the eyes and analyzes things. And we're moving from this witnessing self to seeing from being. And it's a space where it feels like nothing is missing. Where what's happening right now is just fine. Like it's all okay. There's nothing that needs to be different or changed for you to be okay. As Krishnamurti said, the seeing is the doing. So this isn't something to do, it's actually a different way of knowing. And I feel like it's just really perfect too with the Leo full moon. We just have this beautiful energy of connecting into heart space and feeling what's true and getting away from the reliance of our mind and our thinking mind. And starting to trust deeply what resonates with you and your own true nature. So what warms your heart and your solar plexus? What feels like a deep truth? What makes you feel like yes? Your heart says yes. What's intimate? This is what feels intimate and loving and nurturing. These are all signs that you're starting to know and move into this space of direct knowing from your heart. It's a really different feeling than this way that our mind narrows in on objects and tries to think our way out of things. So it's a really embodied state, and it's infused with the intelligence of our own knowing, or bodhicitta as it's called in Sanskrit. So it's this heartfelt way of living. And so I just invite each of you to think of one word that you're feeling right now as I say these words, and just allow you to write it in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute yourself and share, I would just love to hear one word of how this way of knowing from heart mind makes you feel. Loving. I love it, Debbie.
balance.
Balance. Lovely. Love and light. Home. Thank you, Colleen. I so love that. Home. Yeah, like we come home finally to ourselves. We stop looking for something else. We have to be somewhere else. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It's beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to begin guiding this experience into HeartMind. And so I invite you to just close your eyes and listen, and I'm going to begin with what might be a familiar poem to you from Rumi, but just one I absolutely love. The breeze of dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. And so in this beautifully awake state where you are, where you're alive and vibrant and home and loving and light and balanced, just notice that before you do anything at all, awareness is here. This isn't anything you need to make happen. You don't need to think to know this to be true. Just feel this sense of I that's here always and has been with you your whole life and will be with you through the end of your days and beyond. This unchanging, boundless, timeless sense of I. And then become aware of all the things you're aware of. So the sound of my voice, sensations on your skin. If your eyes were open, there would be light coming to your eyes. Thoughts, the taste in your mouth, smell. Notice all of these as information coming to I, coming to your awareness. And see if you can notice them not as separate things, but simply one thing, knowing that every single moment you're just knowing and knowing and knowing. Everything is just arising and passing. And you, this perfect, alive, conscious being. Are experiencing all of it. Sense and feel the underlying wholeness of this I that you are. There's nothing to fix in I. There's nothing that needs to be different. Just this beautiful expression of you coming forth in the world. Now, allow this awareness to move down so it's centered in your heart space. So you're knowing from your heart. So you feel this awareness and aliveness together in your heart space. And without using thought, become aware of the stillness, the vibration, and awareness that is pervasive and centered in your heart. Invite and welcome thoughts, emotions into your heart space. So you're at home fully in this space. Nothing is rejected. Everything is welcome. Notice how your body responds when you welcome whatever you're feeling into your heart space. And now allow this awareness to go out the back door of your heart. So you're aware of the space behind your body. And then surrender your awareness into a spacious awareness that's already there. Until you are knowing from this timeless, spacious, thought-free awareness. So you sense and feel this awareness behind your body, space in the room you're in and beyond. Allow it to move out through the town or city you're in, the country you're in, and into the whole world and beyond. And you're just aware from this field of awareness. No inside or outside, just awareness. And without going to thought, ask, what does open-hearted awareness know? And simply marinate in this continuous field of love and aware presence. Simply let go and let be. You don't need to make anything happen. Everything is already happening all on its own. You allow the doer to relax back into and be relieved by awareness. So this new kind of deep knowing and intelligence comes forth. And you rest in this new kind of knowing, direct knowing, and seeing from being. When you're ready, I invite you to gently open your eyes, but keep your awareness centered in your heart space. So it's as if you're looking out through the world from the eyes of your heart. Direct knowing. And if you like, I invite you to put in the chat one word for how you're feeling now. Joyful, beautiful, Debbie. Love. Open, beautiful. And welcome, Merritt. I see you joined us. Thank you. We're just finishing a meditation. Thank you. right, I'm going to pass it over to Stephen for the next portion of our masterclass.
Thank you so deeply, Holly, and love and blessings to everybody. So I'm going to continue from this space of loving awareness that Holly so masterfully guided you into. So I just want you to rest in that loving awareness as you listen. And it's quite common for us just to focus on the screen or the computer, but for now I want you to rest in the space around the computer. And the Dzogchen path that we've been guiding you into, there's three parts to it: the view, which is like your perspective, and the meditation, which is traditionally what we come to know as marinating in that awareness, just as Holly guided you, and then the application. So I'm going to deal with the second part of this, but we're going to mention the other parts because they are always combined. So for a moment, I want you to consider what your view is. What is the perspective or belief or principle upon which you guide your life, upon which you rest in? And normally with a view, we do think about a view. There's a cognitive level of understanding of a view. And so a little like, as Holly's just guided you, if that view is love, if that's your fundamental home. So I want you to consider what that is now. And I also want you to consider how that, a time in your life when that view was really present for you. So bring that to mind now. So this could be, if your view is love, and you've mentioned such beautiful words here: loving, home, light, joy. So if that view is home, bring to mind a time when you really felt connected to that view. So this could be giving birth to your children, your twins. Could be a time when you were a little child on a bicycle and when everything felt like home. Could be out in nature and you're really, really present. So just bring that to mind right now. Bring that time right here and now, that view. In other words, how that view manifests for you. And I want you to sensualize it, deepen it, enrich it. If it's a time when you were on that bicycle or giving birth or in your mum's arms, I want you to really feel that in every part of your being. So this is part of understanding the view, being able to bring the view here, present, again and again and again. And our mind has these three aspects. It has a thought part, it has a feeling part, and it has a unconscious part or an automatic part. It's often comes from our beliefs. So we're just going to look at that with respect to the view for the moment. So when you think of this time, I want you to bring up the thought of that time, that moment, that view, the home. So whether it's the birth or the riding the childhood bike or being out in nature or resting in your mum's arms, I want you just to bring up the thought of it and be aware of it. Be aware of that there is a thinking aspect to the view. We do think, we do have thoughts. It's totally okay to have thoughts. We bring up those thoughts and we can be aware of them. Right now there's an awareness part of you that's aware of the thought, because you can do that, right? If you let go of that thought now and you think of what you had for breakfast, you can also bring up a thought of your breakfast, and yet you're still aware. So come back to the thinking, right? You're still aware of this thought, of this view. So whether it's riding the bicycle, giving birth, being out in nature, being in your mum's arms, whatever it is. And you can bring a second component to it, and then it's the feeling part. So I want you to really go into the feeling of what's present. Again, you're aware of the feeling, just like you're aware of the thought. Now you're aware of the feeling. I really want you to bring that feeling in strongly. So if it's birth or riding on the childhood bike or in your mum's arms or out in nature, really make that feeling strong. Now we can do that. Notice how when you bring awareness to something, you can actually increase this power of feeling. I also want you to really connect with what is unconscious here. What did you go to? First and foremost, did you go to a birth or a childhood bike or a nature or a mum? Right? What came up for you? What was the pattern? What was almost unconscious that just came up automatically? So if it was a birth, just be aware that a birth came up rather than being in your mum's arms. Right? There's a very good opportunity to learn about your view by just noticing what came up in a very curious, non-judgmental way. So when we start to transform in meditation these aspects, the thinking, the feeling, and the habitual levels, when we work with all three, we really start to transform. And the view, as we mentioned in the last masterclass, the view is Rigpa. It's this open quality, this open, limitless, clear view. And we're just staying in this view. And we learn that through meditation. So this short meditation I'm now going to guide you into, we use mindfulness, awareness, or one-pointedness to remain in Rigpa. And I'm going to do a special practice called mindfulness or awareness of space. So one-pointedness of space meditation practice. And so in this, we're going to learn how not to get lost. In other words, we're just going to come back again and again, stay in recognition of space. It's very, very easy. You're just going to be aware, just simply staying with this awareness continuously through the quality of space. So very simply, let's become aware that every experience we have can be viewed as an expression of this openness. Just simply openness, just as Holly was guiding you. Openness to what is, to what's present, to this open-heartedness of what is. So we're just going to let go and rest in this awareness first through space, within spacious awareness. As you get comfortable, feel down into your feet for a moment. Your feet are solid on the floor. See if you can also feel into the spaciousness of the feet, the space in the feet, the space in the molecules themselves. There's actually genuinely space. And then feel up into your hands relaxed in your lap and see if you can feel into the space in your hands, that there's a kind of a spacious quality to relaxation, that it feels open and present here. And then feel up and into this open spaciousness as you lift up, almost as if a string is pulling you up towards the ceiling, that when you do that, There's a sense of spaciousness as you relax. And then open your heart to the fact that we're meditating here all together. That in fact there is a collective awareness that brings a certain power and understanding and love. And that can also reach across all space, right? That even the space connects us. That heart to heart, that when we really truly open, that within this awareness we're all simply one gathered here. Each one of us, you can in fact right now send your light to me and your love. You can feel this openness to Holly, to Debbie, to Colleen, to Sarah, to Joanne, to Merritt, that we can connect across space and time just simply through our intention and awareness. Then open to mind the blessings of all the wisdom you've received across time and space. That this also is a connectedness across space and across time that draws us all together, that all of you bring ancestors, fathers, mothers, births, children, relatives, great-grandparents, ancestors beyond them, masters, guardians, guides, mentors, spiritual mentors, guardian angels, that you bring all of that present here. So let's connect in collectively to all of these forms and formless beings of wisdom and feel all of their compassion and love embodied in you, embodied in the figures gathered around you and the community gathered around you, and that all of this sense of connection is shining into your heart because your heart's so open. You've left space. You've allowed space for this wisdom to enter you. And then all of that dissolves into light, almost into a single orb of light in front of you. And that orb of light ascends up above your crown, and your crown opens again spaciously, creates space to allow all of this wisdom to descend in you. You feel so vast, so limitless in this space, and it flows down through your crown into your brain, right? Open your brain, create space to your throat, make space for that. And then into your heart, this open-heartedness. Open your heart to all of these connections, and all of this wisdom is flowing into you. Then for the next few moments, just drop all effort. Just give yourself permission to simply be and rest. You don't have to meditate at all. Just rest naturally in this open, spacious awareness, this space that allows everything to be present. Just let go and rest in this open, effortless, spacious awareness. And as you do, notice the quiet space in which your thoughts and feelings come and go. Just settle into this space with ease and relaxation. Sink and drop deeper and deeper into this felt sense of vast, infinite, boundless space in which it's okay for thoughts and feelings and perceptions to come and go. And be aware of who is aware of space. Turn gently towards it, almost with this simple love or really gentle devotion, and recognize awareness of space. Notice that awareness recognizes itself. Because when you turn inwards towards the one aware of space itself, there is a knowing, a felt sense that's ungraspable, vast, right? You can't grasp awareness. It's not an object. So there's no edge or boundary. It's just simply boundless, ungraspable, and empty or infinite. So just open to this clear space of awareness, awareness that is alive and awake. And as you open to this awareness, gently open your eyes. If your eyes are already open, gaze at the space in front of you. And if you're opening your eyes, gently gaze straight ahead into the space in front of you for a few moments. Normally, we focus on objects, and here we're orienting to space itself. Notice for a moment how open and limitless and unobstructed space is. Notice this quality of openness. Notice the space. Feel the space. Feel this quality of openness. Right? If you're in a room, it extends beyond the room. Space is not bordered by walls. It's just simply space. So feel quality of space. And now gently close your eyes. Surrender, let go, and rest. Continue to look straight ahead into space now with your eyes closed. Extend your gaze infinitely beyond the boundaries of your room, beyond the walls into the vast open sky above your house, and then into the vast infinite space beyond the earth. And keep going. Complete openness, unobstructed and limitless space. And now tighten your inner gaze and bring it into where the walls of your room might be. Notice how it's still space, open, quiet, and peaceful. Limitless space. Now, tighten your inner gaze and bring it to just in front of your eyes. Notice how it's still space, open, pure and vast, limitless space. And now turn inwards towards the one that is aware of space. Ungraspable, unfindable, limitless space. Feel this unfindable, ungraspable nature of space and awareness. Merge your mind. Dissolve your mind completely into space. There's no boundaries, no edges. Limitless. And relax completely naturally and rest here without effort. Effortless, spacious awareness. Let yourself rest as this spacious and open, clear, boundless space of awareness that clings to nothing and yet pushes nothing away. Sense and feel this openness, this space, boundless and vast. This allowing, soft softness and formlessness so naturally and effortlessly present. Slowly open your eyes and rest in this felt sense of spaciousness, of open vastness. Rest in this awareness. You are aware of space. Rest in the richness and the beauty of the space of this moment and this one and this one. Feeling into the infinite and indivisible, boundless, spacious awareness. So thank you truly, infinitely, for your profound and divine, infinite, spacious presence. We've got a few moments now in which if anybody would like to share for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to spend about 5 minutes just having a brief discussion on the course that Holly and I are going to do. So if anybody would like to share. Debbie.
Yes, thank you. Oh, it was a beautiful experience, especially as I was experiencing space, looking at my view of the beautiful red rocks and up into space under the stars with the full moon to my left, and to realize that we are small, tiny beings in a small slice of time among a universe full of galaxies. It's the same feeling I get when I'm in the Grand Canyon, and I am in fact now in the foothills of the Grand Canyon in beautiful Sedona. So the place and the meditation and your voice and the tuning forks and all the practice on raising our vibrations has brought me to just an incredible Friday night. Thank you, Stephen and Holly.
Debbie, you're wondrous. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful sky that you are. You're the open desert sky for us. So that's so wonderfully shared. Thank you. It's gorgeous. Anybody else like to take a minute? Merit.
Thank you, Stephen. The experience I had was a pulsation of light, which seemed to want to expand as it went forward into space. And I often wonder if those pulsations are a part of entering maybe into a field of energy, and that if I could learn to control those pulses better and concentrate harder on them, that I might reach deeper levels of concentration and perhaps maybe even go into an ecstatic experience.
Mm. So beautifully described, Merit. Yes, and absolutely, the wonders of these kinds of practices are you could concentrate through into, which is very similar to the jhana states of Buddhist practice. You could also open to that. As it comes, as those pulsations come, you could simply allow them to be present and not concentrate, but do the exact opposite. And you'd arrive at the same point, but by a different method. So yes, you experiment with that, and you may find that your view allows you more easily to concentrate, or equally your view might allow you more easily to open to it. So yes, there's a lovely description of Ajahn Chah's, who says it's like being still enough to allow all the wonderful creatures in a forest that come around a very silent, still pool. to arise. So yeah, you're doing that. You're being still enough to allow the wonders of those pulsating, light emitting frequencies to then connect you through into the 0 point field or the quantum field. So yeah, beautifully described, Marat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Anybody else just before we do sing a brief melody about the course? No, looks like Sarah's relaxed. Joanne must be really relaxed because she's vanished, and Colleen looks like the pristine Buddha sitting there. So I'm presuming everybody's very deeply relaxed. So I'll share a little bit about the course. So Ali and I have run this course a number of times, and I've run it many times. The 10-week Raising Our Vibration Subtle Energy Meditation course. So it's based on the book that Kevin and I wrote called Raising Our Vibration, and it's really a guide into subtle energy and the subtle energy body. So as such, we begin by teaching you the basics of mindfulness and interoception. So how, just like Merit was saying, how to really rest with those pulsations, frequencies, experiences, light, love, peace that arise in meditation, and how to really go deeply into those. And also interoception, just as Holly was guiding you, how to really connect inwardly with this felt sense of awareness as a 24/7 recognizable and realizable state where you can experience peace throughout your day. So that is the basics, and then we integrate key components of many of the ancient wisdom practices. So Holly and I, in our own particular flavor, because I think everybody who teaches the Raising Our Vibration course have our own particular melody that we play. So we particularly integrate aspects of awareness and also sound and vibrational healing and resonance into the whole way that we teach it. So Holly's a real expert in those fields, and so there is a natural integration of those components into the ancient wisdom practices and the subtle energy body systems. So when you learn Raising Our Vibration subtle energy meditation, you from the many reports that we've had over the 3 or so years that Kevin and I have taught this, and over the courses that Holly and I have taught, we've noticed people, recover from stress and anxiety, that they tend to gain a lot of insight to their purpose and why they're here and what they're doing on this planet and how to move with that. And people gain really a greater depth of focus and concentration, so they learn how to cultivate that. They access deeper both meditative states and transcendental states. So they learn how to take their meditation into a state of absorption and then to go beyond that into what could be called transcendent or enlightening, since it's a process in that form, states. And also, especially things like life force, connecting to what's going to help you feel vibrant and connected, both within this body. So there's a lot of helping you to work with the tensions in the body, and also to discover a path that's really meaningful to you. So that's really, in a nutshell, that's a little bit about the course itself. So we've had such wonderful feedback over these years from people that have done it, and I think the collective part of the course is really extremely wonderful and brings that power of healing as a group also right to the fore. So Holly, anything else you'd like to add on that, perhaps when we're running it and all the other parts of the course?
Yeah, thank you. I think that was a beautiful overview of the course. I am excited to incorporate tuning forks into this teaching of it, which I haven't done before. So we'll do something similar to what I did tonight, where I incorporate tuning forks in the beginning to bring us all in, do some group sound healings together, and depending on time and interest of the group, can do maybe a little bit more with that and teach a little bit about some of the science and theory behind biofield tuning. I think we'll have some time to work a little bit of that in too for those who have interest. So, yeah, I'm really excited. It's 10 weeks. It's 2 hours. It'll be on Sunday Mountain Time at 3 p.m. And yeah, really excited to be teaching it again with Stephen. He's such an incredible teacher and partner in this work together. So it feels like a great partnership, and when we've taught it, people seem to really get a lot out of it, and people come with all different levels, from not having meditated before to having lots of experience. And so I think everybody just brings and gets from it exactly what they need. That's my feeling. So yeah, if there's any questions before we sign off, I'd be happy to answer a question or two. And if not, just, anything else you'd like to share, or otherwise we'll let you go for Friday evening. Just really appreciate everybody being here.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for your collective presence and the wonders and joys of everything that you offered. So Holly and I are really grateful, and thank you again and again for taking the time out to be with us. It's really great joy for us. Really, really wonderful.
Thank you so much for sharing and collaborating. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, Sarah. It's great to see you again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was great. I'm definitely going to sleep well tonight. Lying in space. It was wonderful. It's great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Stephen, if you can hear me.
We can.
We can.
You can. Well, I'm finally back on my laptop. I have the update is done, and I'm back on my laptop, and I can see you all again. And anyway, thank you so much. It was beautiful. I was listening to every word, even though you didn't know I was here, but I've been here. So thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, have a beautiful evening, all of you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you all. See you, Colleen. See you, Merritt.
See you soon.
Bye,
Thanks,
Sarah.
Colleen.
See you,
Thanks,
Jan.
Merritt.
Good night, you guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Hold on.
There we go.
There we go.
that was great, Holly.